Welcome to COSC 2325 online. This is computer organization, and my name is Jeanette Serrano-Correa. The purpose for this orientation is so that you are familiar with how the course works and so that you know what my expectations are and how you can succeed in this class. So, what's in the class, how it works, how you can be successful, and then what my expectations are. Very important so that you are successful. So here's my email address. You can, whenever you send me an email, you can just go to email through Canvas and send that to me. And it goes directly to my inbox, anything you send through Canvas. My office is at the Plano campus. You can visit me at my office, or we can do a Zoom meeting during my office hours. So any of these times I can do a Zoom. Just please book a time with me if you know in advance. That way, for sure, I know that you're coming and that I'll be there. If I'm sick, I can let you know. If I'm out of the office, I can let you know. If you want to drop by, that's fine also. So when you enter into our course, this is what you're going to see. This information will always be here along with a very important number, which is Student Help Desk. So if you have any problems at all logging into Canvas, this is the number that you want to call. They will help you with your email, Canvas, one login, things of that nature. In your navigation area over here, you have course materials, which is your book. Your book already is paid for. You paid for it when you registered for the class. So you don't have to buy anything. Modules is where you're always going to go for this class. So modules is where all the assignments are found, the videos, etc. So you started here watching this orientation. Here's some tips on how to succeed in this class. It's really basic. You have to be engaged, and to be engaged, you actually have to put in the work. This class is a lot of work, and it requires you to do a lot of programming. If you skip that part, when you get to the end of the class and you have to code by yourself, create a project in assembly language, and when you have to take the final exams, you're not going to be able to do it. And those are a really high percentage of your grade. We'll go over the percentage, but like the final project is 20% of your grade. So it's just really important that you put in the work. Any code that I show you, type the code. Make sure that you see it run. And then, of course, work on your lab assignments on your own. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So this class, it's called Computer Organization. And what it entails is, how does the computer process our program? So we work a lot on high-level languages, but we don't really know what's happening in these high-level languages. It's like magic. Somebody does all these things for us, and we use these keywords, reserved words, functions, methods, and they do all these things for us, but we don't really know what's going on inside. How is that happening? So somebody had to code that. So we're going to go over how we're going to understand how high-level languages work, how instructions in programming are processed. How does the central processing unit work? How does it process information? How does it work with RAM? And all that stuff will be covered in this class. The majority of the class will work on programming in assembly. So you'll come out with just a basic understanding of how to program in assembly language. Step 3 here is setting up your system. For this class, it is a little bit more, there's a little bit more work to set up your system. So you have to install Visual Studio. And this right here, this document will tell you step by step how to do this and then how to test Visual Studio with just a very simple assembly project. And it will just help you get all set up. This right here, installing Visual Studio. Just like my emails, I sent several emails before classes started, letting you know you got to have a system that runs Windows operating system, a current Windows operating system. So it has to have an Intel Central Processing Unit or AMD, because this assembly programming language, that's what we're programming for. We're programming for that particular architecture. So you can't use an Apple computer unless it's an older Apple computer. I have this document here that you can use and read, but it does require a lot of setup. If you're willing to do that, then you can. But any computers that have the new M1 chips, the new Apples are not going to be able to run a Windows operating system, and we're not going to be able to use them for this class. Okay, so that's the first section there. This here talks about some important institutional policies. For some reason, let me see, I'm not in the student view. Let's see why. Go back to student view. There we go. Very important, read the Call-in online exam procedures. So for your exams, you're going to be using HonorLog. If you've never used HonorLog before, make sure you go here and you read about the exam procedures. I'm going to just talk about this a little bit because, again, I want you to succeed in the class. And when students do not use HonorLog correctly, then their exams get thrown out. They get zeros on exams. So the way HonorLog works is that you got to have a computer, either a laptop or a desktop, not a tablet, not your phone, and it's got to have a webcam, and it has to have a microphone. And it checks your room, it checks to make sure that you're not using any notes if they're not allowed. And then it records your screen, what you see on the screen, and it also records you looking at the screen. So there's two recordings going on. And it flags things like you moving away from the camera. So the camera can't see you, you get flagged. Now, if I do something like this, I'll get flagged. But if I do that once, maybe I'm stretching and I get off the camera, that's not a big deal. But if I step away from the camera, if I'm talking to somebody, if I'm using my notes, if I'm supposed to be looking at the camera and I keep looking to my right, and I keep looking to my right, and I keep looking to my right, that test gets thrown out. Okay, so the testing, think about when you're sitting in a classroom and you're taking a test. You're not looking to your right, you're not looking to your left, you're looking right at the computer, you're looking right at your test. That's exactly what I'm going to expect on your exam. And then the biggest thing too that would get your exam thrown out is if you stop sharing your screen. So if you stop sharing, then I don't know what you've done at that point. I can't see it. I don't know if you went and got your book, if you got on online on some artificial intelligence website and it gave you your answers. So that test gets thrown out. Make sure you read the exam procedures, very important, and follow all of those. And then just so you know how it works, for each exam, all those recordings are on Canvas for me. And then it tells me how many flags. So let's say that Joe got 4 flags. Go look at Joe's flags. Some flags are low. Maybe his head was down. Some flags are high, like stop sharing. But what it does is I can click on the flag and it takes me to the spot that whatever it is got flagged. So let's say that it takes me to a spot where the person is looking somewhere else, or is looking at their book or notes. It takes me to that spot so I can take a look at it and decide you know, if it is academic dishonesty or not. So just make sure that when you're taking your test, you are ready to take it. You know, you've gone to the bathroom, you've gotten a drink of water, bring your water with you. Silence your phone. You can't use your phone while you're doing this. Take all distractions out. Only have one monitor so that you're looking straight forward. Okay, so one monitor, you're working, and we can see what you're doing. So really important. I know I spent a lot of time on that, but I don't want your exams to get thrown out. Withdrawal policy, you have to withdraw from the class. I cannot withdraw for you if you want to withdraw. And then student code of conduct information is also important because cheating is just skyrocketing lately. And just last semester, I probably had like, I don't know, 10 students in one class that I had to give zeros on their assignments. So my policy on cheating is on your first assignment, I give you 0, I give you a warning, I'll let you know. And then after that, I turn it into student, it's called student division, student services, and student academic services. And what they do is they review it. And if they decide that it is academic dishonesty, then you fail the class. You get an F in the class and it gets written up. So don't do it. It's not worth it. Do your own work. You need to do it anyway to be able to do well in a class and succeed. So here in modules, you'll see all your chapters. So you'll have a chapter, you'll have an overview. This just tells you read your book, read your slides. Every time you go into where it says videos, in videos, you're going to find the slides that I use for the videos, any programs that you might need. Like if I pull up a little program and I run it, I might ask you to type it, or I might ask you just to use what I have. So I'll put it there. And there are videos that come with your book by the publisher. They're really good videos. They're very short. I would watch those. And then there are the videos that I create, the lectures, and I put them in there. So if you read the book and you feel like, oh, I got this, I don't need to watch Ms. Correa's lecture, then that's fine. But if you read the book and you're thoroughly confused, you probably need to watch my lecture. And it doesn't hurt doing both, right? So for the first assessments, there's a syllabus quiz and introduce yourself discussion. But for every chapter, there's going to be a discussion for that chapter. There's going to be an assignment. It's a lab assignment. Starting with chapter 3, you'll be writing programs. And there's always a quiz. So there's always discussion, assignment, quiz. For this one, we have these 2 little tasks that you need to do. After you, or even while you're doing your chapter, your readings, etc., you want to start filling out the final exam review. This is going to be what we call a study guide. And so that final exam review, that study guide, is the same review we use for the midterm and the final. So for the midterm, you'll stop at chapter 4. So the midterm is chapters 1 through 4. So you'll just fill those 4 out. And then all the rest of the chapters will be for the final, but you'll need the whole thing because the final exam is comprehensive, so it covers everything. So don't wait. Go ahead and start filling out the exam review as soon as possible. And the exam review is way down here, final exam review. Okay, so if you do it a little bit at a time, do it after every chapter, it doesn't seem like this big daunting task. If you wait till the end, it's a big daunting task. Okay, so those are the modules. I just want to bring up, let's go first of all, let's go ahead and go to course syllabus. To go to course syllabus, I cannot be in student view, so I'm just going to switch to not student view. This is my view. Looks different here on the right and left for us. And it's the same thing earlier. And in here, this is the course textbook. The textbook itself has an author website. I'm gonna look at that. That's a lot of information. These are open labs and hours. So if you are needing to use our labs, they do have Visual Studio installed in all the labs at all campuses. As far as supplies, I already told you what you need as far as your computer. Textbook is included. Okay, so I wanted to look, before we look at course policies, this is how much your final coding project is worth, 20%. This is your midterm and your final are 20%. So 40% of your class, and these are proctored. So the two exams, the midterm and the final, and then the final coding project, they're all proctored. They're on honor log. And you have to either code or look at code and tell what it does. This one, you have to code. So it's just a project. You sit down, you're given a problem, boom, 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 you type and you do a project. So it's nerve-wracking, and I do prep you really well. But you do have to put in the time doing these assignments by yourself, not copying from ChatGPT or somewhere else, or you're not going to be able to do this work here. Okay. These quizzes right here are open book, open notes, but they are timed. Okay. So let's just go finish through here, and then we'll go back to the course policies. So the quizzes, important, they close on the due date. They're open book, open notes. So if you forget to take a quiz, if you, I don't know, if you're like, oh, I had to work, so I couldn't take my quiz, your quiz will not be opened. If you have to work, you need to plan in advance and take that quiz before work, okay? So work is not an excuse. If you're in the hospital, that's an excuse, okay? If you're deathly ill, send me an email, send me something that shows me that you were deathly ill and could not take this quiz. So do not send me an email, please, to open quizzes. Just make sure you can put it on your phone, set reminders, add it to your calendar. Assignments, projects, and discussions, they can be submitted late. There is a late policy, late work policy. And so let's look at that. So assignments, projects, and discussion, not your final coding project, but other projects that we might have. And that is late work policy is here. So in this class, we have assignments and discussions. So if you submit a lab assignment or a discussion 1 day late, it'll be 10% off. If it's 7 days late, it's 10% off. So it doesn't matter if it's between 1 to 7 days, it's 10%, just one time, taken once, flat deduction. After day 7, so if 7 days have passed, then that lab is not graded, it's not accepted. You still want to do the lab because otherwise you're not going to be learning the concepts. So you can still do the lab, but it is not going to get a grade. Now, 10% is not a lot. So if for some reason you can't get your stuff to work, turn it a day, 2 late, 3 days late. It's better to get a 90 than to get a 0. Okay, so if it's 10%, you'll get a 90. Again, quizzes close on the due date. Keep saying that over and over. Don't send me an email. Okay. All right. Let's see. So we have quizzes. The midterm, the final coding project, and the final exam again are on honor log and have to be taken on the days assigned. So I'll give you a range of days and they need to be taken on any of that, any time during those days. If your final exam score is better than the midterm, there's only 2 exams, then the final exam score can replace the midterm exam. You do have to send me an email. So I'm not going to look for this. You have to say, oh gosh, I made a 90 on the final and I had a 70 on the midterm. I'm going to email Miss Correa and I'm going to ask her to replace that grade. So this is the grading system, normal, 90 to 100 is an A, etc. Okay, starting back here at the course policies, on the grading, the assignments, the discussions, the final project, I grade all that. And I need you to give me 1 week after the due date to grade those assignments. Now, 1 week, not including weekends. I don't work weekends. I try not to work weekends. I say that, and I'm always working weekends. So when I grade, if you get feedback from me that says resubmit, so I'll give you feedback, and then I say resubmit, then you have 7 days to resubmit the assignment. Don't resubmit unless I tell you to, okay? Usually, if a student just gets something really wrong and they're just not understanding, I'll ask for something to be resubmitted. They just went down the wrong path, and I do like students to correct. If they have a lot of errors, I like them to make corrections because that's how they're going to learn. And so you can make those corrections. The corrections are averaged with your original grade, so you're not going to get the full points. But let's say that the assignment, was worth, I don't know, 100 points, and you got an 80 the first time. So if you got an 80 the first time, and then the second time you made 100 because you made all the corrections, 100 plus 80 is 180 divided by 2 is a 90. So it goes up 10 points. So it's nice. All right. Late work policy, we went over that. Attendance policy, of course, you're online, you don't have to attend, but log in regularly to Canvas, check the announcements. I post announcements weekly or more. I always tell you what's due for that week as a reminder. And then those announcements should go straight to your email. If they're not going to your email, let me know. I reply to emails within 24 hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So those are my working hours, 8 to 4. And then I am off Saturday and Sunday. So what that means is that if there's an assignment that's due on Sunday, you want to make sure that you start early. So start, let's say Wednesday or Thursday, look at the assignment, make sure you understand, make sure you can do this on your own, that you don't have any questions, because come Friday at 4, you don't want to be sending me an email because you're not going to get a reply until Monday. Okay. If you don't get a response within 24 hours, and it's Monday through Friday between 8 and 4, then just email me again. Sometimes the emails do go to my box. My inbox has a focus and own unfocused section, and sometimes they go to the unfocused or just spammed. When you email me, please put the course number at section, because I do have 2 sections of this course. Give me your name as it's on Canvas and your student ID. Sometimes students will give me the name that they go by, but then I go to Canvas and I can't find them, and it just takes forever. I have to go back and forth asking you, who is this? What's your name on Canvas? And it takes forever to help you. AI assisted technology. I love AI assisted technology. I love ChatGPT. Love it, love it, love it. I love it because I can use it to learn, and that's how I want you to use it. So I can read something, and if I don't understand what that website or what that textbook said, then I just type my question into ChatGPT and it gives me an answer. You're welcome to do that. You're not allowed to take a problem that I give you, put it into ChatGPT, get an answer, and then copy and paste that answer as your program. It's very easy for me to see these, to detect these. Students will use instructions that I've never taught them, or we'll be on chapter 3 and they'll be using instructions that are in chapter 7. And so that's a huge red flag. You know, the book will show them how to do these things in 2 or 3 simple steps. And then they have like 6 steps because they went to ChatGPT and typed it up. So if you can go there, I can do the same thing, and I do. So I'll put the problem, I'll see what ChatGPT gives. And if it's the same and it looks like yours, then I know that it was copied. So stay away from doing that. Do your own work. Or when it comes to the final coding project, you're not going to be able to do it on your own. And that's going to be the big problem. You can work with other students as far as studying is concerned, maybe helping them debug their program, but not to get the answer. So we don't collaborate unless I tell you, hey, I want you to collaborate with somebody on this assignment, or you can. But other than that, no. So we went over method of evaluation, the course calendar. We have spring break. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, here it is up here. Sorry. I thought it was March 29th. Spring break is March 11th through 17th. This is the last day to withdraw. There's a small spring holiday. It's a Friday through Sunday. It doesn't affect your class, but just know that campuses will be closed. And then this is finals week. All of the due dates are on Canvas. So if you click on your calendar, I'll show you in a minute, you'll see the due dates. But this shows you what you should do week by week. Okay, and I'll also post this as reminders on announcements. So if I go back to here with the student view and go home to the home section, over here on the right-hand side, it says view course calendar. And right now in green, because that's what's checked off, we see the things that are due. You can also look at it as an agenda view, just gives you every week. You can click on it and it takes you to the assignment. Gives you the assignment, instructions, and you can click on that. Click on chapter 1 quiz. By the way, the quizzes are not on honor lock. I don't know why it says that. I probably need to take it off, but you're not going to have honor lock for the quizzes, okay? So no honor lock on quizzes. I just haven't set up the honor lock stuff yet. All right. So on the syllabus, we've got all of this. This is just week by week. It shows you what you're going to learn at the end of each module and then what you have to do. These are the things that are graded, the third column. And then the last thing is just our student learning outcomes and the policies, our institutional policies. So that's the syllabus. Also here, when we look in student view, we see on the left-hand side, the book. So let's take a look at the book real quick. Don't opt out of the book. the book is expensive. Even if you try to buy a printed version of the book, it's a lot of money. Oh, it does this because I'm in student view. Hold on. Let me just get out of student view. So here's on the left-hand side, you see all your chapters. You can click on these 3 lines to hide the table of contents to make it bigger, and skip to whatever sections as you're reading and looking. It's a pretty good book. It there are some things that you read and you need more explanation, and this would be where you could I'm going to give you the explanation in the videos, or you could go to ChatGPT and say, you know, I didn't understand this term or what this is, and it gives you more information. So at the end of each section, I think it's section, yeah, there's a section review. So do the section reviews, and I don't have them yet, but I'm going to have this section review answers posted. I don't have everything posted because I do take some questions for your assignments from here. So there are some questions that are in your assignments that are here, and so that you won't see the answer. But I can give you the section review answers and some of these review questions here in the exercises. So make sure you do those reviews, and then there's a chapter summary somewhere. Oh, right here. Read the chapter summary. Summaries are good. Very important. Our class requires that you know a lot of vocabulary. So programming requires that you know a lot of vocabulary, because you can't really answer a question if you don't understand the word terminology. So if I say something like, in the following Boolean expression, or will the following Boolean expression result in a true or false? Or which of the following is a Boolean expression? So you're like, what's a Boolean expression? What is Boolean? So you have to make sure you understand the vocab. There's a lot of vocab. All right, so that's our book. And then, so we have course materials. That's where the book is. We saw the syllabus, announcements, modules. Let's look at grades next. So looking back at student view. So this is where you're going to see your grades, and so the grades will be posted here. It's also nice that you get to see when things are due. So you're like, oh gosh, this is due like in 2 days. I better get to it. Notice that everything's due at 11:59 p.m. And then at the very bottom, it's going to give you the percentages. So how you're doing in assignments, quizzes, discussions, exams, and final projects. So it's going to fill these in. The last thing is student resources. I don't think I posted this. It might be on there. Don't remember. But I do give 5 points extra credit if you attend one student organization or some activity on campus. And so under student resources, there's this thing that says student engagement, and in student engagement, there's a calendar, an event calendar, and it gives you everything that's happening on campus, on all the different campuses, and the time. There's things that happen on weekends and nights, and so look at there. Also, under student services, There's the Access Office. If you have a learning disability, you want to contact them to make sure that you get the accommodations that you need. Without them sending me an email about your accommodations, I will not know what those are. So get those accommodations if you need them, okay? So go talk to them. Counseling services, you can get those online or on campus. Same thing with academic advising and the Career Center. I advise that you attend any Career Center activities, whether it's a job fair. Even if you're not looking for a job, it's always nice to talk to people in different companies to see what they want, so that when you're ready for a job, you know what it is that people are looking for, so that you've been preparing yourself, okay? The Anthony Peterson Centers for Academic Assistance. This is where you can get tutoring. I don't have a tutor yet for programming, but I do have students that have taken this class before. If you want their contact information and you want some extra tutoring, you can contact them. But here you can get tutoring for writing, tutoring for math, and they do other things other than just tutoring. So look at this, click on here and look and see what you can find there. This is the number that I gave you. These are the people that help you with if you get locked out of Canvas or you need just help, support using Canvas or your email. And then the e-learning center, they help you with things like using Office 365 and Honor Log, so click on there and visit that. Something else. Oh yeah, so if we go under modules, yeah, I haven't put it on here for some reason. But I will add the extra credit. Let's see. So I will add the extra credit on here so you'll have it. And under that tab, under that link on extra credit, I do have links to our two student organizations. The word escaped me. So two student organizations that talk about that are for computer science and engineering students. And they have a lot of activities that go on through the semester. So it'd be great if you can attend one of those. And sometimes they even have online activities that you can attend. So look at those, attend those. It's good to start networking now so that when you're ready to move on to a four-year university or to get a job, to get those internships that you want, you've got a network of people that you can talk to. So networking is a really, really good thing for getting those internships that you want to get as you're getting your degree. All right, so that's all I have for this class, for this video, for the orientation. I'll see you at the next video, which is going to talk about chapter 1. And please email me if you have any questions, okay? Thank you.